4.5 is where we're at, and it's the last one. So simple interest. Our essential question is still money and percent. How are these related? How can we solve problems? Make sure you guys put your name, date, class. Okay, one of the vocab words you guys noticed was principal, which is the amount of money deposited or borrowed. So deposit, like in a bank account. Borrowed would be on a loan. You could borrow from a bank or from individuals. That's just the flat dollar amount. So principal is the amount of money deposited or borrowed. The other vocab word you guys saw was simple interest. Simple interest is the amount paid or earned for the use of the money. Simple interest is usually from a bank. People get car loans or loans for school or for a house, and they pay simple interest. It's always in a percent, which we'll have to turn into a decimal, of course. Any questions so far? Good? All right. Then you guys saw this formula in your book. And it was I equals P RT, and someone said, yeah, P is probably principal, and you're right, and then someone else said T was time, and that's right. What is the I? Interest. What is the R? Rate. Okay, so I put some little arrows for you guys. I is the interest. That's how much you're going to pay or earn. P is the principal, that's like the original dollar amount. R is the rate, that's always in a percentage. And then T is time, and that is in years. So if you get one of those in months, you're going to have to divide by 12. The difference between simple and compound, I told you guys I'd explain that a little bit, is that compound interest, there's a little bit of difference in the formula because it's compounding, meaning every month if you don't pay off your balance, you owe a little bit more in interest. So then the next month, you have to pay the interest on what you originally owed plus that interest. So that's how people get into big financial trouble, is they borrow a little bit thinking they're going to pay it off right away, and it has like a really big interest rate. Example that would be those, I forget what they're called, but some of the places like cash call loans, places, you'll see them around town. They're normally like, they look like convenience stores or something, they have big neon lights. And people take their paycheck in and they use that to borrow money. And they think they're going to pay it back, and they don't. And they charge them like 30% interest, and they don't pay it back, so then the next month they're paying interest on that interest. And it just gets them into big financial trouble right away. Similar to credit cards, but credit cards charge a little bit less interest than places like that. So, all right, here's an example. Let's say you borrow $580 and they tell you that's a 3% interest to use the money, and you take 5 years to pay it off. So kind of a long time for $580, but maybe you're broke like a teacher or something, right? It takes a long time.
Teachers are broke.
Some. So all you have to do is take these numbers and plug them into this PRT formula. P is principal, so that's the 580, right? R, rate, is the 3%, which we have to turn into a decimal. And time is already in years, so we don't have to change that. We just leave it as 5. And here's how I plug it in. I put parentheses so you guys can remember you're multiplying. So you have 580 times, remember our percent, we move the decimal 2 places to the left, so that's 0.03. And then we have 5 for 5 years. You plug that all into your calculator, and this should tell you how much interest you're paying. I is for interest. So you would pay $87 in addition to the 580, right? You're going to have to pay 87 extra. So that's after 5 years, you're going to owe 87 extra dollars if that was just a simple interest loan. If that was a compound interest loan, you'd probably owe, depending on the interest rate, you would probably owe somewhere around $3,000. Again, that's how people get into serious financial debt. Any questions so far?
No.
Yes.
What does the P stand for?
That would be the principal. So that's like the amount you borrow or the amount you deposit.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay, let's try another example. Same numbers except I changed the time. So I have 580 again. I have 3% interest, but I changed it to 6 months. Six months is half a year, right?
Yeah.
So what's half as a decimal? 0.5.
0.5.
So the only thing you have to change here, the first two numbers are the same, but since I told you there's 12 months in a year, right? You have to divide by 12. That's 0.5. So instead of multiplying by 6, like some people will do on the test and make a big error, you have to remember months. You got to change that to years, and that's half a year. And that works out to $8.70. So if you pay that back in 6 months, you're going to only end up paying $8.70 instead of $87. Yeah.
Why don't we add the 0 in front of the 5?
The 0.5, because that is the time. Only the percentages we change. Yeah. You don't even have to put it as a decimal. You could multiply by 6 and then divide by 12. It's just a shortcut method. Yes.
So, would you change the 0.02 to 0.5?
0.03 is still the same, see? But half a year, 6 months is half a year, so I just do 0.5.
Oh.
You see it? Okay. Question?
What are the parentheses?
That's what you're multiplying in your calculator. I just tried to separate it for you a little bit. All right, here's another one. Let's say, who likes to shop in here? Oh, look at all the hands going. Okay, so we're going to go Jaden on this one. Jaden,
What? Yes.
what's your favorite store to shop at?
Hot Topic.
All right, is that right?
Victoria's Secret.
No, I doubt that. How about Hot Topic?
Okay.
Okay, so let's say Jaden goes to Hot Topic to get some more Spider-Man paraphernalia.
Yeah.
And they have a credit card. Like most stores have their own credit card now. You see when you go in with your parents, you're like, they say, "Do you want a credit card?" Blah blah blah. Save 10%, right? And let's say Hot Topic says, "We'll give you a credit card today, Jaden. You look 18, it's fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we'll give you 19% interest on that credit card. And we'll give you a $900 credit limit. So that means you could spend up to $900 today, Jaden. Are you going to do it?"
Yes.
And so he's like, "All right, I'm going to find $900 worth of stuff I want." And then he figures if he pays it back within a month, he doesn't have to pay the interest. But once it goes over a month, you have to start paying the interest. The credit cards give you like 30 days. But if it goes 31 days, you got to pay the money.
Okay.
So Jaden's like, "Man, I better get on that." So he calculates what he's going to owe. And remember, 1 month is 1/12 of a year, right?
Yeah.
So it's pretty close to 0.083 repeating. It's pretty close. Okay? You could, but I mean, you want to be a little bit more accurate on these kinds of things. And so Jaden's going to pay back the $900 that he shopped, you know, for whatever at Hot Topic. And then he's got to pay 19% interest, and then the time is 1/12 of the year. That's the 1 month. Okay, that's the 0.083. That's what goes in your calculator. And you guys, raise your hand if you think he's going to end up paying a lot after that 1 month, because 92% is a lot. Raise your hand if you're like, nah, it's probably not that bad, because it's only 1 month. Okay, so it's actually not that bad, Jaden. You only have to pay the $900 back. Hopefully you have that. And the $1,425. Okay? So if you're responsible and you have the money, chances are you're going to pay it back before that month even ends. But if not, you're going to have to start paying interest. And let's say Hot Topic doesn't have mathematicians working for them, so they're only charging simple interest. It's not even going to compound. But then Jaden's like, you know what, I thought I could pay it back in a month, but it actually, let's say it takes him like a year. So that one that I put in there represents a year. So if he took a year to pay it off, just on simple interest, now he owes another $171. So there's a big difference, even in simple interest, which is why Dave Ramsey says, you know, pay with cash. Yes?
I have 2 questions.
Go ahead.
What is that line under the 0.8?
I just underline that to tell you that that's what you want to put in your calculator.
No.
No.
That's not what
The underneath, that's what you put in your calculator. And your other question?
I mean. Okay, and like right there, you just multiply them all, right?
Multiplying.
Alright.
This is all multiplying until you get to, I'll show you one more that has like more algebra in the book later. Yes, ma'am?
Do you do 900 divided by 0.19? You get 14.5.
No, that was all multiplying. 900 times 0.1 times 0.083.
And then what did you get the one?
Oh, I said hypothetically, let's say he paid it off in 1 month, it'd be right here, but what if he took 1 year? Then he'd owe that much. Yeah. I was just saying, like, I know Jaden is responsible, so he'd probably pay it off there, but just in case something happened and he needed a year, he's going to have to pay a lot more. So it's better not to get the credit card to begin with, unless you have the cash. But if you do have it and you have to use one, pay it off right away. Yeah.
So I did the 900, like the first one, calculator, and it says 14.9.193.
I don't know, do it again. 900 times 0.19 times 0.083.
That's what I did twice.
Do it 3 times because 3rd time's charm.
Okay.
All right, we're going to do, I know there's more questions, but I think we'll answer them as we go. I really do. So we're going to do a U try. Couple U tries.
I don't think I can try.
I don't know. I'll have to look at your calculator. So
No, maybe okay.
let's say now you're on the like savvy money part of your life because you listened to your teacher's lecture. And she said it's better to put money in the bank and get interest on that money. And so someone tells you about this special thing at the bank called a money market. And you can get more interest on that money if you leave it in the bank for 4 years and don't touch it. If you take the money out, they're not going to give you the interest. But if you leave it for 4 whole years, they're going to pay you 4.25% interest, which is pretty good. And so you sold your Pokemon cards, and you have you have $1,500, and you can go invest that in the money market. I want you guys to put in your calculator what you think you're going to get in interest from the bank after 4 years. Be careful when you're putting in the percentage. You got to change that to a decimal, 2 places to the left.
That didn't make any sense.
Okay. I'll give you guys about 10 more seconds. It's a quick calculator problem.
Charizard Mega EX.
Alright, 5,
Ultra Mega.
4, 3, 2, 1. What is it?
I don't know.
Oh wait, now what? Don't say it. Don't say it.
Alright, hold on. Okay.
I got it when you put in 112.
Okay. So here's what you want to put in your calculator if you did not. Some people forgot to put the 0, like 0.0425. So you should have gotten $255.
I didn't even start it.
And if you wanted to figure out, okay, if I'm going to take that money out now, how much will I have? You would just add that to the principal. So that's your total as well if you want to have that down. Most of the time on the test or quiz, it'll just say write the interest, but every once in a while it'll say what's your new total. So you're just adding it, 255 plus 1,500. All right, try another one, because some people were just barely getting their calculators out. Try this one. I'm giving you time. Using the same numbers that I used in one of your previous examples, all I did was change the percentage. So if you need to look at example 1 or 2, I can't remember. It's very similar, hint, hint.
I did the wrong number.
You already have it?
No, wait.
Oh.
I want to do that.
Hold on. Yes.
For the examples, 2 and 3,
Yes?
those fractions,
Right.
what do you put in your calculator for that?
You can turn it.
If you're just doing 6 months, we did one just like that, so look at that one. It's a decimal, right?
Okay.
We'll give them a little more time. So we have 580. We have to figure out the percent. How do we do that as decimal? Then we have to figure out months instead of year. How do we do that?
It's 2% interest.
2% interest, yes.
Oh, 2%.
So if you were confused about what to put in your calculator, it's up there now. And what is the answer, everybody?
580. I'm so proud of you.
$5.80.
I did it all.
Okay, so the common error here, and I know for a fact there's one like this on your test where it's months, is people are multiplying by 6 instead of realizing that's months, so they're not reading the whole thing. If you multiply by 6, that's going to be a lot bigger, right? So be careful. And the total, if you wanted to know your total, you could add them together. Okay, so we're going to go, and I'm going to keep recording this part to help people that are working on this later. So we're going to go to page 171 and look at 2 through 8, and I think
Wait, does that mean that we have to do 1 through 8? You can run it by your face. Like, that means that we have to
we're just doing 2 through 8. Shh. Again, just to remind you, this is still being recorded and posting to YouTube very shortly. All right. So in your book, you'll notice on 171, there's some similar problems that we just did, so it shouldn't be very tricky. And we are not doing a worksheet today. This is it. So you really have to focus in here. All right. No. So for the first one, which we did, I think, already, but let's go ahead and write it down so we have it in our book too. We take 1,500. We're going to multiply that by point what?
0.0425.
Good. And then we have 4 years, so we just multiply by 4. So put that in your calculator, and then someone raise their hand, and I will call on you so that I can hear you. Hallie?
255.
Good. And we just did that one in our notes, I think. All right, so that one's pretty easy. Let's look at the next one. We have 1,200 times, someone raise your hand. Tell me that one. That one? That one? Josh? Noel?
0.039.
Good. Don't forget the 0, everybody. And now we have to deal with the 8 months thing.
Oh, goodness.
So the the most accurate way is to put in parentheses 8 over 12. Because I know that if you put that in your calculator, you're going to get like 0.6 repeating or something. And the problem is if you just put 1.6, like if you make this, that, you're going to miss out on all the other 6's, right? So that makes it a little bit less. It's not as accurate. So we're going to put in our calculator. I want you to put in your calculator. Ready? Do 1,200 times 0.039 times 8, hit equals, and then someone raise your hand and tell me what that is. Erica?
31.2.
31.2?
Wrong. Wrong. You're wrong.
Okay, let's be a little bit nicer. Jaden?
374.
Right.
0.4.
Yeah, 0.4.
Okay, then put in your calculator divided by 12. Do you see the 12?
Yeah.
And then equals. And now someone else raise your hand. Hallie.
31.2.
31.2.
Yeah.
0.20.
So it's $31.20. That is the most accurate answer. Because I'll tell you this, because on these tests that have multiple choice, a lot of times people are like, I don't see my answer. It's because they did by 0.6 and not as accurate as 8 divided by 12. If you did 0.6, you will get like $28 right there. And then you'll think you are messing up on the test big time if you don't see your answer, right? Yes?
So, how did you get 31.20?
So I took 374.2 and divided by 12.
I mean,
Oh, we're talking dollars and cents, so we need to put the 0 for 20 cents.
I thought 2
Yeah.
2 cents.
No, it had to be 0.02 to be 2 cents, right? Okay, let's do this one now. We're still finding simple interest, so we're on 290. What do we multiply by? 0.125. Good, because look, 2 places to the left, right? And then what do we multiply by?
6 months.
What is 6 months?
So,
0.5. Good. Who has that one? Catherine?
18 and 13 cents.
$18.13. Is this getting easier?
No.
A little bit?
yes.
Definitely.
Okay, well, here's the thing. Right after your teacher gives you all the easy ones, there's a difficult one. But it's not that bad. What is the opposite? I know you know this because I said it 9 times. What is the opposite of multiplying?
Dividing.
That was good. So all we have to do is when it says what is the interest rate, we're looking for R in our formula. Instead of multiply, we're going to have to divide. So first of all, do you guys remember the formula I equals PRT? We just did that. So in this one, it says Jamara received 3,000 car loans. Circle that. What is the 3,000 in this formula? The P, right? She plans on paying it off in 2 years, so that's our time. That's easy. And then 450 is the I. We have to solve for R, which means we're looking for a decimal to turn into a percent. So all you do is set it up like this. You put 450 for R, for the I, equals, we don't have R, so let's just focus on the P and the T. What's the P?
3,000.
Okay, so put 3,000. What's the T?
2 years.
Okay, so put 2, and then we don't know R, so let's put that at the end. That's our unknown variable. I already said the opposite was to divide, but before we divide, we need to multiply these two together. What's 3,000 times 2?
6,000.
Okay, so write 450 equals 6,000 R. And then to solve for R, we have to divide by 6,000, both sides, right? That's called isolating the variable. Cross out the 6,000 on the right side. Now, when you put this in your calculator, you should get point something because we're looking for a decimal to turn into a percent.
I got 13.3.
Did you get 0.133?
No, I got 13.
Try it again.
I got .075.
Yes, I got it.
0.075?
Yeah.
This one is?
Yeah.
What is that as a percent?
I got this.
0.7.
0.075.
So what is this?
0.7.
7.5%.
Yep. Got it?